Hi, my name is Sam Robinson, and I'm a disability rights advocate supporting people with disabilities. This is my YouTube channel, International Disability Rights Advocate. I'm starting this YouTube channel because there are many people with disabilities all around the world that are struggling, and they don't have a lot of resources needed to find the right help. And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about this particular issues, and I want to make this YouTube channel on the international level so that people with disabilities or parents who have children with people with disabilities to come together. There's a lot of different conflicts around the world when it comes to certain issues for people with disabilities, like they don't have the right resources or the resources are limited. There are third world countries that don't have the resources, and they don't always have the right help needed. So the reason why I'm starting this YouTube channel is to support people with disabilities all over the world, people with different issues, people with different backgrounds, people who have autism, people who have cerebral palsy, supporting the physical, developmental, intellectual, and mental health disabilities as well, schizophrenia, psychosis, etc. But also, I want to share my interests with you all on this YouTube channel and share my life with you as being on the autism spectrum, on the high functioning side of the autism spectrum. So what do I like about ham radio? Well, ham radio has been an interest for a long time. Well, I like to communicate with people all over the world and people here in my local area. And what is ham radio? Ham radio, also known as amateur radio, can be used for emergencies. It can also be used for events and all that. But it's not paid service either. It's voluntary. And you can communicate with people. And you can report natural disasters. There's a saying that ham radio is like the main type of communication. If natural disasters were to go down, or if natural disasters were to happen, ham radio would be the last line of communication when cell towers go down, internet goes down, etc. I like doing genealogy because I like to connect with relatives I have never met before. Exploring my background, my history, my heritage, just connecting with people. My grandparents have done genealogy and they've made books and biographies, and I have read some of those biographies. My grandfather also had a video camera that he used to take, and that he would show how these people are related to us. And using the knowledge of genealogy, I have used it to trace my relatives. And some I've been successful, some I have not. Another reason why I'm making this YouTube channel is because I want to share my life with you as well. And part of that comes with my own diagnosis with a disability. So I was diagnosed with a learning disability at 2 or 3 years old. A former bishop of ours, who became very close friends to my family, who I have known for a long time, who worked in a special field, I forgot which field though, but he recommended to my parents to get me tested because he thought something wasn't right. And he suggested to my parents to get me tested. Well, I got tested. And I was tested for a learning disability. And growing up, I had certain issues. Like, I had certain issues in getting toilet trained and all that. There was a time where I went to special needs type preschool. But I couldn't go to regular kindergarten at that time either. So what happened was so I ended up in a special needs type kindergarten, also known as pre-K. And this was in Utah, where my family used to live at the time. So I went to a special needs kindergarten at 5 because my parents were worried about my learning. So I did go there. I didn't go to regular kindergarten until I was 6. So I was pushed back a year. And growing up, I've been around with different types of people with different backgrounds with disabilities, people who are nonverbal, people with issues, etc. I can't name them all. But people with emotional issues, I definitely had emotional issues as well. And as I went to regular kindergarten, I was still needing to cope with some things. But in regular kindergarten, I had friends as well. I still remember their names to this day, but I'm not going to name them all here. And then when we moved from Utah to Coos Bay, Oregon, back to Coos Bay where I used to live, I was then diagnosed with ADHD and another term also known, what was known then as mental retardation. And that's a term that's not used today, but back then it was, when I was 8. I know this because I have documents of my past that I found in school documents that I have. So 8 years old, but I was still having trouble in school. So I went to a resource center where I still need some of that help. And I also went to something called the DLC, which stands for Developmental Learning Center. And that was more on supporting with emotional challenges and all that, the help that I needed the most. So the social issues that I'm interested in, especially with a condition also known as hikikomori, which means social withdrawal, also known as the American term hermit. And it's a big issue in Japan, and it's one of the issues that I've been very concerned about, because it's a big issue. And as I said, supporting people with disabilities, there may be those who have a disability who are dealing with hikikomori, and their stories had an impact on me. So I grew up watching anime. When I was a kid, my oldest sister, had videos of different types of anime shows, mostly from Japan. But I grew up watching anime, the common ones, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Studio Ghibli films, My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, and other things. I like anime because it's fun, just as long as it's not inappropriate. And I enjoy watching anime. It's different, and yeah. So I guess I was fascinated with different cultures when I was in middle school, because I've wanted to go to Hawaii. That never happened. I like to travel. It's one of my hobbies that I like to do. I also like learning different languages because I like to communicate with different people. I also like experiencing and enjoying different foods. out of all the countries in the world, my favorite is Japan. And why? Because I love the culture. I like the mannerisms is quite unique than my own culture. I also would like to be a disability advocate there in Japan, and I would like to go to Japan when I can, and I'm saving up for it right now. So how I became a disability rights advocate? When I first moved here to Madras, Oregon, I saw a need in my community. So I moved to Madras, Oregon in 2016. And, one day, I was told about an advocacy meeting in Bend. So I took a bus to go from Madras to Bend, Oregon. And, I attended this meeting. And I was so fascinated about what I heard. I won't get into details of what it's about. I vaguely remember anyway, but one of the things I do remember, someone told me that I should start my own advocacy meeting, and it took about the end of 2017 to start it, to get the people together needed. And we talked about different issues, what needed to be talked about. The public transportation was one of them. Talked about different issues, the lack of events for Madras, Oregon itself. And before the pandemic started, I hosted some of these dance events. For a while, everything was going uphill, but when COVID happened, everything went downhill. But all that time, I've learned a lot of things from advocating for people with disabilities. And now I'm focusing on the international level because I've seen a big need for people with disabilities and in different parts of the world, people who are struggling, people who don't have the right resources and the right help. And yeah. So I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was born and raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My parents were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And yes, I'm a Christian. And this is my true belief. Why did I want to start this YouTube channel? So it's to raise awareness for people with disabilities all over the world. There are people who are struggling, and there are families who are struggling with how to cope with different abilities, physical, intellectual, developmental, and mental health as well. So the purpose for this YouTube channel is not just for me, but for you guys and everyone that we meet on this YouTube channel. And raising awareness for people with disabilities on the international level, sharing stories, and letting people know that you guys are not alone. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. For more information, please subscribe to International Disabilities Rights Advocate YouTube channel, and hope to see you in the next video. See you later, everyone. Hope you cut this out.
I will.
Okay.